What's up, everybody? Welcome to Stateside Street, a podcast where two Americans discuss all things Coronation Street. My name is Shanika, and I'm going to be recapping episodes from April the 5th through April the 10th. Another week that Corey has been on Sundays. Personally, I enjoy it. I know it's not permanent. I know they're doing it because of football and rugby, if I'm not mistaken. What do you guys think? I kind of like it. It's nice. It's nice. But this week was a pretty good week. It was a pretty good week. Debbie is a free woman. Maggie's secret is out. At least one of her secret. Lisa finalized the divorce. She's officially divorced from Becky, dear old Becky. It's funny, really. Their divorce like just 2 weeks before Lisa's supposed to wed Carla. So interesting. A lot of soapy goodness this week. Before I dive in, please do not forget to like, comment, follow, give us a rating if you like us, if you enjoy hearing my thoughts, Amelia's thoughts, if you enjoyed the interviews, and definitely comment below because I want to hear your thoughts. I know you all have theories, you have opinions on what's working and what's not working. You have thoughts about this small little thing that's supposed to come up, like the small little wedding, I don't know, on the April 23rd. Swarla, I don't know. I don't know if you guys heard of that couple at all. But no, I love it. I'm actually really excited for the Swarla wedding. It's very important. And it's very important in soap history, especially Corey history. So I'm really excited. So if you want to talk about that, definitely comment on Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, what have you. Share your thoughts, definitely. Amelia hopefully will be joining me in not the following episode, but the episode after that, where we're going to talk about Swarla. We're going to talk about the whodunit. It's going to be really cool. So hopefully she can join me with that. And I know you guys are missing her as well. So shouts to Amelia. Hopefully she'll be able to join us, and we all talk all things Swarla for that episode. But yes, it's been a great week, and you guys have been really, really awesome just engaging with us, so we really do appreciate it. So yeah, definitely do not forget to give us a like, a comment, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff, and for sure definitely check out these other amazing podcasts as well. That I always give a shout out to them because Conversation Street, Talk of the Street, Pop Goes to Tam Tam, Dingle All the Way, like all those amazing podcasts out there. Yeah, so let's get to it. We have our major storylines. I want to run it down for you. A major storyline with Debbie and Carl, Ben, Steve, and Maggie. That was a huge one. We have Sam, we have some Jody, some Todd and Theo, and of course some Swarla sprinkled in over there. And we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it today, right? So let's start with Debbie and Carl. First things first. Debbie is out of prison. She's a free woman. Okay, she's out. She's free, but it is bittersweet because we won't see Lou again. Lou's time on Corey is done for now. I did like seeing Debbie and Lou's friendship grow. It was very unexpected, but it worked. I really loved it. I really enjoyed it. Free Lou, okay? Free Lou. I'm going to put on a t-shirt. Free Lou, okay? Look, so what? She left Gary for dead. So what? Gary left someone else for dead. And she actually died. Justice for Rana, first of all. Justice for Rana and free Lou. Okay, I'm putting it on a t-shirt. I really, really like Lou, and I hope she comes back. The good thing is that there's potential for her to come back, and they left the door open, which I'm really happy about. Yeah, so fingers crossed for that. But yes, Debbie is free. The first scene that we get was Debbie on the swings at the playground, and the transition, I would say, is a bit random. I'm not going to lie about it. It was a bit interesting. But I did enjoy her being on the swing. Like, it was actually reminded me of a story. I had spoke to a gentleman a few years ago, and he was telling me his story about coming out of prison after like years. And the first thing he did was just walk around like the park. It just really just goes to show it's the little things, it's the little things. Just, once I was talking to somebody and they said when they came out was the first time they actually took a shower without those shower slippers that they have you use. So like things like that, like small little things like that we sort of take for granted, right? So it was nice to see Debbie just on a swing, just out, just free, enjoying something so mundane as swinging, But it was nice. It would have been nice to see like a proper reunion with Ronnie. Carl walks up to Debbie while she's on the swing, and Debbie sort of makes it seem like she doesn't know who Carl is, but obviously it's a gotcha moment. It's a joke on her part, but it is sort of bittersweet because I'm like, okay, we know that this is going to happen eventually, and I really hope that they truly mend their relationship, like legit, because they're running out of time, and I think Carl's going to regret the way he treated Debbie for sure. So Carl, man. So later on, Carl takes Debbie back to the flat. Carl tells Debbie this sob story. He tells her that he thought that she was dead, and that's why he pulled her to the driver's seat, and that he didn't expect her to be sent down for everything. And he apologizes, like, oh, I'm sorry, blah blah blah. Don't believe a word he's saying right now, because in the same breath he asks her for 10,000 euros. 10,000 euros. Insane. He's a piece of work, okay? He's a piece of work. The next day, Debbie makes her grand return to the Chariot Hotel in such an iconic way. Iconic outfit, everything. Amazing. She meets Ryan, and I love their relationship. I know he's going to be heartbroken to lose Debbie. I just love the way their friendship sort of blossomed. You can truly see how much he cares for her, and he would do anything. He is the person that Carl is supposed to be, right? And it just breaks my heart to see Carl just completely try to swindle her out of so much money, Meanwhile, however, Summer, absolutely fuming that Debbie is out. She's heated, and that's understandable. Because from her vantage point, Debbie is the reason why Billy is no longer here. And Asha tries to be the voice of reason, but Summer pushes back. She says, well, she shouldn't have been driving in the first place if that's the case, right? If she knows that her dementia is progressing, why in the world was she behind the wheel and drinking at that? But Abby is here to give her 2 cents and says, who says that she was even driving in the first place? You know what I'm saying? Hint, hint. It was Carl. Things aren't really what it seems. Hint, hint. We already know that Carl was driving the car that hit Tyrone, so who's to say he wasn't driving the car that ultimately killed Billy? And she has her suspicions, just like Kevin, just like Ronnie, and now Summer. And Summer is on a warpath. She's on a warpath, okay? Speaking of Carl, though, he's back at the hotel. Debbie reinstated him to pay off the $10,000 that she's going to loan him, okay? Carl is pressuring Debbie about the money. Ronnie gets wind of it. He calls Fiona to meet her to see what in the world was going on, right? Ronnie comes back with the truth. Carl only owed 5,000 euros. The truth is out. Debbie finally sees sense. Finally, she kicks him out. About time. Later on during the week at the hotel, Tracy and Mary are smoozing clients while Debbie's sort of causing a bit of chaos, drinking. A lot of stuff is going down. Now, whether this is because she was drinking or it's because of dementia, personally, I think it's the dementia. I think it's pretty much implied that was the case. It's progressing. And Debbie she's acting a bit different, getting in the way of insulting people, just making things a bit uncomfortable. Mary and Tracy's clients decide to leave without paying the bill. They're going to leave like some horrible reviews. Later on, Debbie is just not in her right mind. Like she's not herself. But Summer comes into the hotel and confronts her. And she asks Debbie if Carl was the one that was driving. And she accuses Debbie of lying. And again, Debbie's just not herself. She's very confused. She can't really handle it. She's feeling very overwhelmed. Ryan comes in and tries to calm things down, and he's carrying 2 hot plates, and Debbie takes the scalding hot plates, burns herself, and she couldn't put it down. She couldn't just drop the plates. But she finally dropped the plates. Obviously, her hands are extremely burnt. Carl comes in to try to save the day. He's like acting like he cares. We all know that's not the case. Carl tries to get Debbie to go to hospital to get checked out, but Summer stops him. And Summer yells and screams at him and threatens him and says that she knows that he was the one that was driving the car and not Debbie. So she is on a warpath. She's lasered on Carl right now. The next day, Debbie gets her MRI results. It's not looking good. Obviously, things are progressing. Ronnie just can't handle it. We haven't really seen a lot of this storyline through Ronnie's eyes. We had sort of some in the beginning, but it was mainly through Debbie's and Carl's POV, which is to be expected. Ronnie isn't handling it that well. He's trying, right? But it's only so much you can handle, and it's really hard to take care of someone with a disease like that. It's hard because you're trying to be strong for them, but you're also trying to process your own emotions and your own grief and things like that. Later on, Carl finds out about the results. Ronnie tells him when they're at Roy's, and Ronnie just basically calls Carl out. Carl didn't know anything about the scan, to be honest, but he didn't even ask, did he? So that really just goes to show how much of a caring son Carl actually is, right? But Carl finds out, and for a moment he actually looks like he cares for a brief moment. So he goes to the hotel to meet Debbie, and he apologizes, truly apologizes. And again, for a split moment, you can sort of see in his face he might be sincere. It was genuinely a very beautiful and lovely scene when Carl asks Debbie to dance. Was not expecting Alicia Keys on a Friday night. I gotta be real. But it was a lovely scene. But despite the lovely scene, the lovely moment between mother and son, Carl, he's never too far from scheming, okay? He is just scheming. He finds Summer. He grabs hold of Summer and tells her, maybe you should look a bit closer to home, right? For who's to blame about Billy? The threads, man, the threads are coming together with this whodunit. Carl is something else, let me tell you. He's a piece of work. I really do want his relationship with Debbie to be strong. Maybe they can rebuild and they can come together and have the relationship that they need to, because their time is running out. But we'll see. But let's move on to Ben and Steve, because that was a huge thing as well. Maggie's secret, right? So we start with Steve at the Rovers. He comes in and he invites Ben to a match. And it's funny, he got completely sidetracked chatting about High School Musical. We're all in this together, right? Love it. Ben actually starts feeling a bit faint. Maggie takes him to the back, just to get things settled to make sure that Ben is okay. And Ben's not having it. He still confronts Maggie about what in the world she meant last week about the whole flesh and blood thing. He actually threatens to call his brother Finley about what's going on. And that's when Maggie cracks. And she tells him that Alan wasn't his biological father. And that's pretty massive for Ben. Ben is furious, understandably. It's such a big secret to keep. Things are coming out. But there's another secret that Maggie is keeping. When will we find out about that secret? That's the question. We'll see. So Ben basically turns to drinking. It's just a mess, isn't it? Steve pops back into the Rovers to check in on him. Steve accidentally lets slip that Amy and Ollie are actually back together. Maggie panics and rushes over to stop it because, the whole cousin thing. I mean, it's not Emmerdale, guys. It's Coronation Street. We can't have that. We cannot have that. So Maggie comes in, stops it, drops the absolute bombshell. Jim is Ben's dad, making Amy and Ollie cousins. So she's known for months. They confront her. She's known for months since Halloween. I think it's very funny that they found out in Halloween. Well, she found out in Halloween, and then everybody else found out on Easter. I think that was really nice, the whole resurrection thing. But it's really heartbreaking, actually, if you think about it, because Ben went to his father's funeral without even knowing that that was his father, his biological father. So it's pretty rough. He never had that chance to form some type of relationship. So later on, Steve's a bit down. He just can't imagine Jim cheating. Jim wasn't that type of person, he says. And Amy and Cassie tries to cheer him up. But it's just not working. It's just not working. I do wonder what Cassie's exit is going to be in the summer. I don't know what's going to happen there, but I hope the door stays open. We will see. But just something to put in your back of your mind as these episodes move forward. But yes, later at the Rovers, Ben is absolutely raging. He's looking at like WebMD. Is he going to die like Jim? Does he have this condition like Jim had? He talks to Maggie and asks her, when did she find out about his heart condition? And she tries to make peace and everything, but it's not really happening. And she tells him that, she found out during Jim's wake, during his wake and his funeral. And that was like right before Ben's appointment with his cardiologist. So she kept this secret, and again, another secret, kept this secret from him for, weeks, for months, and this is something that Ben should have known so he could prepare for things. She's definitely keeping secrets, and it's one big secret that she still hasn't told anyone, but I think it's going to come out. Is Finley going to come to Weatherfield and dish the dirt? Who knows, but the secret is definitely going to come out for sure. Later at the Rovers, the secret is out. Things travel fast, okay? There's no such thing as really keeping secrets. Once you tell one person, everybody knows in Weatherfield. And that's what Sean says. That's what Sean tells Ollie as well. Like he's in for a rude awakening. So everybody knows. Amy comes in. Amy and Ollie try to talk and say, hey, nothing happened, so we should be okay. It's a bit awkward. Lauren is being extra catty today, really extra snappy. Don't know what her deal is, but she's just snapping at Ollie, snapping at Amy, just a mess. Okay, Ben puts her in her place, threatening to fire her if she doesn't get her act together. You know what? I'm okay with that. I like Lauren, actually. She's okay. But yeah, she's being a bit disrespectful. I mean, she has been for a long time. So yeah, let's hope she gets her act together, because if not, bye job. Okay, maybe you can go back to working at Roy's or something. Who knows? Let's move on to Sam and Will. This is a really interesting storyline that's coming up with Sam and his mental health and the side effects of abusing medication and stress and everything that comes with it. So we start, first of all, at the shop. We have Leanne, Toya, and Sam. They're talking about Sam's therapy, where everyone can hear. Not a good look, Leanne. Leanne is blaming Jesus, apparently, for resurrecting. She just has it out for everybody, that woman. It's we can still work something out. He can still go to therapy. Again, they're talking very loud at the shop, and Sam just freaks out. He storms off. Obviously, he's embarrassed because all his friends and everybody else, the kids and teens in Weatherfield, knows about his therapy now, because apparently Toya and Leanne just can't have a quiet conversation anywhere. Meanwhile, Will and Eva are outside having ice cream. They're having a sundae. It's a beautiful day. It's very nice. A very nice little moment between mother and son, stepmother and stepson. She tries to talk to him about what's going on, tries to tell him that he shouldn't be too angry with Maggie. And Will, he's very angry, obviously, at Maggie, because in his eyes, Maggie is the reason why Megan lost the baby. Once he finds out, though, watch out, Megan. Once he finds out the truth, watch out. She says something that's really interesting, though, which sort of leans into Megan being the victim and Will being the suspect. Eva says something along the lines of, you never know. Stick with family, basically, because you never know when you might need them, right? Maybe this is a little nod. Maybe Will will be the one to take down Megan once he finds out the truth about everything. We will see. We'll see. Really nice moment between Eva and Will. Will, it feels like he's a kid again, right? He's eating sundaes at the park. He's, for the most part, enjoying his day. It's very nice to see him smile and laugh and just have a day without all the craziness surrounding him. Eva reaches out to Will and just asks him to apologize to Sam at the very least. Just make nice with Sam, make amends. And he agrees. Later on, Will approaches Sam at the bistro and truly apologizes. And Sam reluctantly accepts. He's a little bit cautious. But later on, at Leanne's phone rings. Sam picks it up. And it's Will on the other line. Or at least that's the voice that Sam hears. He hears Will's voice on the other line threatening him, telling him to back off. And this was the first major clue that Sam isn't okay. Why would he call Leanne in the first place thinking that Sam would answer? It just wouldn't make sense. Yeah, something's not right with Sam. Something's going on. Sam is basically hallucinating. He's paranoid, he's confused, he's overwhelmed. It's really heartbreaking to watch, to be honest. Jude is doing a great job in handling such a storyline. But yeah, it's really heartbreaking to see little Sam go through this, I mean, he's in therapy. Good on Toya and Leanne for that. Nick just seems like a deer in headlights when it comes to this storyline. I don't understand what's going on. It's like he's a deer in the headlights. He's just like, oh, everything's fine, la-di-da. Let's have some pizza. Let's have a movie. Let's play some chess. I don't understand what his thought process is here. I feel like Leanne and Toya are doing the heavy lifting and really trying to help Sam. Sam's struggling. And later on, Sam actually sees Will, and Will starts chasing him. And Sam falls, and he looks back, and it becomes clear just how bad things are. Sam is hallucinating. He even thinks that he sees Will and Megan at the precinct. And he didn't take a picture to confirm it. He didn't wait and see what was going on. He just ran right to Leanne and Toya and Nick to tell him what he saw. They went around the precinct. Obviously, they weren't there. They went to the Rovers to tell Eva what Sam saw without verifying anything. Just believes him. Eva calls Will down. Will was there the whole time at the Rovers playing video games with Ollie. And Leanne still insists that Sam was telling the truth. And I get it, because on one hand, it's Sam, he doesn't lie. But on the other hand, you still have to look at what's right in front of you and realize that Sam is struggling. He probably was mistaken, Things are getting really heated between Leanne and Eva, and I don't want that. This shouldn't break them up or cause any tension. The real evil here is Megan. They should be joining forces to take down Megan. But emotions are high. Again, Sam isn't doing that well. He thinks he hears voices, sees people. Poor old Sam. I don't know what's going to happen. I saw somebody say, what if Sam is involved somehow in this whodunit on April 23rd? Not saying that he will be the suspect, just that he is potentially somehow involved, because he is seeing things, right? It would be really interesting if it wasn't Betsy that found the body, if it was Sam that found the body. And because he is right now, he is unreliable. He's an unreliable narrator, if you will. So it would have been really interesting, because as an audience member, can we trust what he saw? And can we trust what he's telling us? That would have been really interesting, actually, instead of Betsy. Speaking of Betsy, though, let's move on to Swarla, okay? The Connor Swains, soon to be Connor Swains. The wedding invitations are out, and Betsy loves her glitter. She's loud, proud, and covered with glitter everywhere, as it should be. For Swarla, as it should be. But yes, the wedding invitations are out. But Lisa's a bit stressed out. She's a bit snappy. She's not the neighborly type, apparently. She's snapping at Jody. Jody's facial expressions are amazing. Love it. But Carla has something that might cheer her up. Her divorce papers. The papers arrived, and Lisa is officially divorced from Becky. Amazing. amazing. Very interesting though, because they were planning the wedding, sending invitations out. They're like, look, I'm going to get married whether it comes or not, okay? Whether the divorce papers come or not, we're going to walk down this aisle, and I love to see it. So during the whole celebration, Lisa and Carla go to Roy's to celebrate, leaving Jody behind. Lisa left her police notes and her police badge or warrant card out. Jody, being Jody, gets a bit petty and steals Lisa's warrant card. She's going to put it in her little box of trinkets. This is definitely going to come up later. Obviously, there's something brewing with this, with Jody and her warrant card and everything. We'll see how that plays out in the next few days. But let's move on, speaking of Jody, to Jody and David. So David's home. He's watching Avengers. I haven't seen it personally, so I'm with Jody, haven't seen it. Jody scops off work and joins him. And, David is completely oblivious. He's like, okay, yeah, sure, you're fun. Yeah, why not? But why not just hang out, sister-in-law, And Jody has her eyes on David. The thing is, I do like their dynamic. I like their dynamic. And if Jody wasn't an unhinged queen, their friendship act would have been gold, to be honest. Speaking of unhinged and chaos, Jody goes to work later on in the week, and Bernie's a bit snappy with her. I'm surprised Jody didn't steal anything else from Bernie. Jody's not really working. She's on her phone tapping away, but what is she tapping away? She's actually giving Mel's Business 1-star reviews. Jody is review bombing and just giving Mel's Business 1-star reviews. Bernie hopes that it doesn't blow back on her, but it doesn't. We're going to find that out Sunday. It doesn't. It blows back on Roy, but more on that on the next episode, the next recap. But this Mel is he's something, right? So that's it for Jody and David. Let's talk about Todd and Theo. This is the last storyline for this week. Todd, Theo, and some George sprinkled in. So first things first, Sarah is going to take things in her own hands. Okay? She goes to Todd's place and begs him to leave Theo. But Todd again insists that nothing is going on, that he is safe, that he's not in an abusive relationship. And Sarah can't seem to get through them. Theo comes home early, and you can see how terrified Todd is. Todd tells her to hide. Baby, honey, that's not normal. And it's so sad that he can't see that, He's being manipulated so much that he cannot see. Like, that is not normal. But she does hide. Sarah hides in the bedroom. Theo comes home early, clocks a weird vibe, like something's not right, and he starts to lightly berate Todd. And he starts to prowl, and he realizes that somebody else is in this house. Sarah pops out from the bedroom, and he switches on the charm instantly. They sit around and they talk, and Theo tells Sarah that she shouldn't feel the need to hide her relationship with Todd, that Sarah is welcome anytime. Just puts on that sweet old charm that no one's really buying anymore. Sarah sees right through him. When she leaves, though, Theo is back to being tough, to being ruthless, to threatening Todd. The next day, Theo is back at work, but Gary sends him packing. Carl comes in after the whole Theo and Gary clash and sort of winds him up a bit. And you can tell the tension is brewing. It's definitely building up between Carl and Theo. This whodunit, anything can happen with this whodunit, man. Honestly. Later on, though, Sarah calls Danielle and asks her to meet her at the bistro. Sarah sits Danielle down and asks her straight out if Theo ever abused her. If Theo has a history of abuse. And it goes down exactly the way you expected it to go down. Danielle is highly offended, highly upset, and starts yelling and drawing attention to Sarah. Theo and Todd walks in, and obviously Theo is furious. He makes a scene. It really just gives more ammunition to Theo, really, to just isolate Todd even more, right? Todd goes up to Sarah, just basically tells her to leave him alone, to get out of his life, basically leave the relationship alone. And Theo is just up there smirking. He loves it. It's sickening. It's absolutely sickening. I definitely believe that Theo never laid a finger on Danielle. I think, for me, his abuse is very, very much tied to his views on masculinity, control, and femininity as well. It's very unsettling. You can see the way he viewed femininity in men and the way he viewed masculinity with the way he treats Todd and the way he treated, I forgot his name, but his ex-boyfriend or ex-lover. I can't remember his name, but it was during the episode when they went to the gay village. But you could see it. And he didn't treat Danielle like that at all, because with Danielle, he felt masculine, right? He was the man, Yeah, it's definitely, to me, in my opinion, I think it's definitely tied to the way he viewed masculinity and the way his own internalized homophobia. It's just sick. He's an evil guy. Later on, the gang are at the Rowers, Sarah, Christina, Gary, George, and I love the whole joke that Gary did about killing Theo. Look, listen, Gary is not above it, okay? He will throw down, as you know. He has killed before and indirectly killed someone else. I think if Gary kills Theo, it would kind of take away from the story. But again, I don't know. That's just my opinion. But that is your week on the cobbles. Okay, really good week. I think really good episodes. I'm actually excited about the follow-up when it comes to Maggie, Steve, and Ben. And I'm also looking forward to Summer confronting Theo and how all that works out. There's I don't know if you guys saw or not, but there's an upcoming episode focused just on Todd and Theo. And I'm really excited about that. I don't know if you guys have seen the pictures. I won't spoil it for you, but I believe Metro posted some pictures about the upcoming episode, and it looks really heavy. So I do want to warn you guys, just be mindful that it's a really heavy episode. I think you thought behind closed doors episodes was tough. I think this episode is going to be very, very heavy. So just warning you guys, if you guys are a bit sensitive to that topic, definitely maybe skip that one. I'm very much looking forward to it. And everything to come to. It's the threads are weaving, things are being set up with this whodunit so well, and I really just hope the payoff will be worth it. Yeah, definitely let us know what you guys think. Let us know what you guys think, your thoughts. Are you looking forward to a Swirl wedding? Are you looking forward to the whodunit? Who do you think will be the victim? Who do you think will be the suspect? Let me know. What do you think about Maggie and her secret that has yet to come out? Who do you think will tell that secret? Because I definitely don't think it's going to be Maggie. Maggie is not going to willingly tell Ben that she left his father for dead. I definitely don't think that will happen. Maybe Finley will come and spill the beans. Who knows? Maybe the secret will drag out a little bit longer. I don't know. But yes, thank you guys so much for listening. This has been a really cool episode. Yeah, I'm really excited for things to come. Thank you all so much for listening. I really appreciate it. It's been really nice. This has been Stateside Street, and you all have been absolutely fabulous. Make sure you stay safe. Have a good one, guys.